Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for choosing to watch this video. I thought I would do a little cook with me favourite recipe video because I've had so many messages over the last few months about what we eat, just because I've had such a massive weight loss since having Maisie. So most of you already know that I had gestational diabetes when I was pregnant with Maisie, so I had to really watch what I ate. And I guess at the time, I didn't really know what gestational diabetes was. I just assumed that it was my fault basically because I'd put on so much weight during my pregnancies. So with Maya, I put on 30 kilograms and with Maisie, it was about the same. So massive weight gains basically. And I just sort of thought, oh, it's my fault. It's because I've put on so much weight, and it was about what I was eating and my diet. But obviously having had gestational diabetes and speaking to people and doctors and nurses, it's more placenta based. So it's more to do with the hormones, rather than anything you've done. So that made me feel a bit better about it. But when I had the gestational diabetes, I had to really watch what I ate. And I thought it was just, I'm not allowed to eat sugary things anymore. No chocolate, nothing like that, no treats. But what I didn't realise was it was about the carbohydrates as well in my diet. So before I was eating, admittedly, quite carb heavy meals. When I'm pregnant, I just seem to crave carbs, which isn't great. And when I was diagnosed, it meant that I had to really cut back on those as well. So even after I gave birth to Maisie, we've sort of tried to stick to the same things, I guess. So eating lower carb meals, obviously controlling portion size as well was a big thing. But I think that's ultimately helped me to lose so much weight. Maya's just here having some chill time. More. We'll do more milk cup in a minute, okay? Can you eat your strawberries? You don't want to. Okay. And yeah, so basically I had to watch what I ate. Before I gave birth to Maisie, I was up at 99 kilos, believe it or not. Everyone thinks that, I wasn't that big and like, how did you weigh that much? But yep, I was up around that point, and Ben and I would joke, oh, am I going to get into triple digits before I go into labour, before I give birth? I never hit the 100 mark, but I was up at 99. And yeah, over the last year or so, I have been watching what I eat. I've been getting back into the gym, and I've lost 37 kilos, which I just feel so much better for. It was a bit about how I looked, but it was more about me and my energy levels. So we would go on family walks and I would literally be trailing behind Ben and Maya dying. Like I just couldn't do it because I was carrying all of that extra weight, and I'm not tall, I'm 5'5", and I think carrying that extra weight was making day-to-day things hard. Like even sitting on the floor playing with the girls, I would get up and it would be a struggle to get off the floor. So yeah, I feel so much better having lost that weight. So I thought I'd make a little video on some of the meals that I cook for dinners, because I know lots of you are interested, and I try and stick to healthy meals but also easy. So I've got Maya at home with me and Maisie as well. Maya does go to pre-kindy 2 days a week, but Maisie is home with me full time. So I try and stick to, meals that are minimal prep time, meals that I can bang into the oven and, leave them to do their thing, because I just don't have time to be spending an hour cooking a dinner. So yeah, I try to keep it to quick and healthy ideas, and I also try and budget as well. So I try and get the meals that we're eating to be relatively cheap as well. So yeah, I hope this gives you all some ideas on what you could cook for your families. And obviously if you like the video, like the ideas, please subscribe to my channel, because I'll be doing a lot more videos in the future. This is a meal that we have once a week. It is low carb and high protein, which was sort of a key thing when I had the gestational diabetes, but it's a meal that we really enjoy and it is quick and easy. So I've already prepped the potatoes earlier, but we always have sweet potatoes with this meal. So it's basically just one sweet potato, which I've peeled and cut into little chunks, which I'll then bake in the oven for around 40 minutes. So that's the carb element of the meal. And then we have chicken breasts, and all I'm gonna do with these is cut them in half. I'm gonna put some grated cheese in the middle of them. Cheese is optional. If you don't eat cheese, you don't have to do that. And then the key to this meal is the bacon. So I will wrap the chicken breasts in bacon, and that just keeps them really moist when they're in the oven. So sometimes I find when I bake chicken, it goes quite dry, but the bacon helps with that. So it's really juicy and it's not, dried out. And then with this meal as well, we always have a little Greek salad with it. So I use half a pack of cherry tomatoes, half a cucumber, I use about a quarter of this onion, an avocado, and then half a block of feta cheese. So we'll always try and do this dinner where we have 2 dinners in the week that have the Greek salad, because obviously you don't want to be wasting ingredients. And if you buy 1 pack of cherry tomatoes, 1 cucumber, 1 block of feta, that will do you for 2 salads basically. And then I will put some olive oil on that, the salad, and sprinkle some oregano leaves on there, and then that's done for the salad. The chicken takes around half an hour to bake in the oven as well, so all in all prep time, it's about 10 minutes by the time you've peeled and chopped the sweet potato, done the salad, done the chicken, and then it's just ready to go. It just all goes in the oven. Obviously the salad doesn't, but the rest goes in the oven, and then you don't really need to do anything else with it. I'm just about to start making another of our favourite dinners that we have. I really like this one because when I was pregnant with Maisie and I had the gestational diabetes, it was a dinner that always gave me really good readings because it is low carb. So we're making fajitas tonight, and in my fajitas I put 3 capsicum, or I know in the UK people call them peppers, over here they're called capsicums. I try and get 3 different colours, but you can mix and match. I also put 1 onion in, and I will chop all of that up and put it into the saucepan. We like to have prawn fajitas, but you can have any meat you want. So you could do chicken, you could do beef, you could just do a vegetarian one if you wanted and just do the capsicum and the onion. We really like the Old El Paso spice mix, so we put that in with the fajita mixture, and then I make my own guacamole just because we find it's better than the shop bought ones. So I use 2 avocados, and then I normally use vine tomatoes, so you know the big vine tomatoes you get, but they didn't have them on the shop, so they were substituted with cherry tomatoes. Should taste the same. And then I dice a red onion, not a whole red onion, I'll use about a quarter of this. And I'll put a spoonful of minced garlic, and then I will squeeze some lemon juice in at the end. Our neighbour's actually got a lemon tree, so that's really handy. It hangs over our fence, so I will grab one of those and squeeze that into the guacamole. And then you've got your wraps. Now, when I was pregnant, I couldn't actually eat just normal wraps. I had to eat the low carb ones, and that was fine for me. But now I don't have gestational diabetes, or any diabetes for that matter. I can just have normal Coles wraps. And then I will do some grated cheese as well, just to sprinkle over the fajitas. You can have salsa with them, sour cream. We choose not to, just because I find that the guacamole is enough. So this is another dinner that we normally have weekly. It is fish cakes because they're pretty cheap to make, they're healthy, and Ben always makes these on a weekend because they're a bit more time consuming than our normal dinner, just because you've got to boil the potatoes and bake the bassa. So we use bassa fillet for fish cakes, but you can use lots of different fish. Here bassa's quite cheap, so it's about $3 per 200 grams. We've got just a big fillet here, so that's 300 grams worth of fish, and that would do all 4 of us, because then you use the potatoes as well to make the fish cakes. And with this dinner we have the Greek salad, so I made the Greek salad with my chicken wrapped in bacon, which I showed earlier in this video. So Ben's just going to chop the potatoes and put them into boil whilst the fish is baking in the oven. And then once the potatoes are done and the fish is done, he will make the fish cakes. Tonight for dinner we're having pizza wraps. This is a meal that we have weekly just because it's really quick, it's really easy, it's great for using leftover veggies in the fridge, but it's also healthy and low carb as well. So this was sort of inspired by when I was pregnant. I had gestational diabetes and I couldn't tolerate pizza at all. So the normal pizzas you buy in shops, the pre-made pizzas, even the pizzas you make at home with the, you know, the ready-made bases, I couldn't eat those just because they were so carby and they would not give me good readings at all. But at the same time, I love pizza, so this was a good alternative for me. So I used just the Coles wholemeal wraps. You can use just the white wraps or whatever wraps basically. When I was pregnant, I did have to buy the low carb wraps because I found even these wouldn't give me good readings. And then it's just pizza sauce. So I use just the Coles own brand pizza sauce, and I put a bit of tomato paste on there as well, just to make it a bit richer, I guess, in flavour. Some grated cheese, and then whatever toppings you want after that. So I just try and use up leftovers in the fridge. So I'm having
some capsicums. So these are left over from when we had prawn fajitas earlier in the week. So I'll chop those into little pieces. I might put some sweet corn on, or I might put some ham on after that. I'll see how much room is left on this pizza. Also, if I have mushrooms in the fridge, I'll sometimes put mushrooms on the pizza too. And then Ben is boring and plain, and he literally just wants pepperoni on his pizza, and that is it. So easier for me because that's just one topping to deal with. But as I said, these are really quick, really easy, and they're affordable as well. So it's a good, cheap dinner for a family. And I've got Maisie in the background. Maisie! What are you doing? You gonna help Mum cook? You gonna help Mum cook? Yeah! So this is another dinner that Ben makes. It's carbonara. It's really simple and quick. We have it once a week because it's also a budget-friendly meal. So we've got Gran Padano cheese here, which he's just grating. We also use either linguine or spaghetti. And then we've got bacon, which we cut up to put in, and we've got parmesan as well. And then we use some garlic to add in too.
just about to start some dinner prep while the girls are relatively entertained. I've put Maisie in front of little baby Balm and Maya is still busy watching her iPad. So I'm gonna do a tomato, spinach, prawn pasta tonight. It's pretty simple, pretty quick prep time. Yeah, spinach. Maya, are you gonna eat the spinach? Maya? No, spinach isn't spicy, Maya. Yeah, it's good. Do you want to try some? Yeah? That's surprising. So normally when I do this, Maya literally would just eat the pasta with some cheese on top. Maisie is less fussy with her food, so Maisie will eat this dinner. But yeah, normally Maya is not a fan. Even like spaghetti bolognese, she's not a fan. She'll just eat spaghetti with the cheese. Yeah, she's a pretty beige eater. If it's beige, she'll eat it. If it's got any flavour, any veggies, anything like that, it's normally a no from her. So we'll see if she tries the spinach and the sauce. Up dinner. This recipe is 15 minutes start to finish. So you boil the water, put the spaghetti in. It's a pack of cherry tomatoes, which I just chop in half. 1 onion, which I chop. Then you fry the tomatoes, the onions. I added some Parmesan cheese in as well. As this is cooking up, I add some spaghetti water. So the water the spaghetti is cooking in, just because otherwise it goes a bit dry. I also added 2 tablespoons of garlic, just the jar garlic. And then when the spaghetti's ready, I put the spinach at the bottom of the colander and I tip the spaghetti over it with the water, and that sort of steam cooks the spinach really quickly. And then you put the spaghetti and the spinach in with the tomatoes, the onions, the garlic. You chuck the prawns in at the last minute because they only need about 2 minutes, and then that is it. It's pretty straightforward and it actually tastes really good. Big thank you if you have watched this far into the video and you have watched the whole thing. Your support really does mean the world to me, and I hope you found my cooking interesting. I hope you've walked away from this video with some meal ideas for your families, and as I said on the video, most of them are very quick, they're very easy, lots of them are healthy as well, and they're just meals we enjoy eating as a family week after week. They don't break the bank. Lots of them are budget friendly as well, which is a big thing for us. And I know lots of people are struggling with the cost of living at the minute. So I really do try hard to budget on my weekly shop. As I said, I really do hope that you try out some of my meals. And if you do, I'm on Instagram. Don't forget to tag me, and I look forward to seeing what everyone makes.